Hello friends, how are you? Breaking news today. Please subscribe my channel. During the first episode of the Golden Bachelorette contestant, Chock Chapple talked about his divorce from his first wife. After that, Chock was engaged to another woman for 9 years. But who is Chock's first wife and what is known about their marriage? Joan Vassos has a tough decision. Undeniably, the Golden Bachelorette, Joan Vassos knows that dating after 50 comes with connecting with people who have many life experiences behind them. Oftentimes, by a person's 50s and 60s, they have gone through great loss. For Joan, she lost her husband, Jock Vassos, and was left with dreams that could never be completed. But she is opening her heart to dream new dreams with a different man in the picture. While her final 3 men have each had a divorce, who is Chock Chapple's first wife. Many of the stories that Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple relate over include his fiancé, who died from cancer, much like Joan's husband. However, before he and Catherine Elizabeth White-Gorey's 9-year engagement, Chock had a previous marriage. During hometowns, fans saw his 2 children, Taylor and Tyler Chapple. Chock shares his children with his first wife, Heather Chapple. Like Chock, she is an insurance agent. Chock and Heather's marriage lasted 12 years before the relationship ended in divorce. Although divorce generally comes with difficult feelings and heartbreak, both Heather and Chock have navigated theirs with friendship. Not to say it was easy, but they have managed to co-parent their children and remain on good terms. Undoubtedly, this is a true testament to his character. Initially, Chock Chapple took Heather's hand in marriage on June 29, 1998, in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Sadly, Heather filed for divorce on July 26, 2010. The reason stated was incompatibility. According to Life and Style, documents said, the marriage relationship of the parties has deteriorated due to a state of incompatibility between the parties, and petitioner is entitled to a decree of divorce on these grounds. Together, they finalized the divorce on September 27, 2010. Concerning their children Taylor, born in 1999, and Tyler, born in 2001, the courts ruled to award joint legal custody to both Heather and Chock. However, Heather had the primary residency of the children at that time. Additionally, Heather was also granted ownership of their marital residence in Wichita, KS. Furthermore, Chock was required to pay Heather an equalization payment of $342,884 as part of the property division within 30 days. Likewise, Heather received the Florida residence in Vero Beach, to which Chock signed over a quit-claim deed to the property. This released his interest in the property. Many tough decisions came with Chock Chapple and his ex-wife's divorce. One area was child support and custody. At first, each month, Chock Chapple paid $2,025 in child support. Additionally, he had to provide health insurance for the children. However, their agreement had no spousal support at the time of divorce. Likewise, each party was responsible for their attorney fees. In the end, Chock kept his 2009 Harley-Davidson motorcycles. Their individual value was $13,500. Likewise, he also received many other household goods and furnishings in his possession. However, Heather got the 2006 Lexus 470. While she had the car, Chock had to pay off the $20,000 loan. Additionally, Chock Chapple took 100% of the common capital stock shares in their commercial insurance group, CIG, insurance company. Furthermore, he also had a 100% interest in Chap Rentals LLC. Together, the businesses totaled over $1.3 million according to the documentation. Split time. Although Heather and Chock Chapple have good standing with each other, there were still many aspects that had to be settled and revisited through the years. In September 2012, the child living arrangement and child support agreement changed. It became a 1-week on and 1-week off schedule due to Heather's work needs. At that time, she was frequently traveling between Kansas and Colorado. Likewise, in 2015, his portion of the child support decreased significantly to $755 per month. Then 2 years later, his child support agreement ended altogether. Later, in August 2017, Chock was awarded primary residential custody of their children. At that time, Heather was required to pay child support to Chock for $560 per month. In 2017, his gross annual income was reportedly $218,724. The Golden Bachelorette Season 1 airs on Wednesday nights at 8/7C. Do you have experience with divorce? What do you think about Heather and Chock Chapple's relationship? Are you enjoying this season of The Golden Bachelorette? The fantasy suite dates are a tradition on Bachelor Nation shows. The lead and their final three get the chance to spend the night together without any cameras there. Several alums have admitted to being intimate during the overnight dates, but not Joan Vassos. The Golden Bachelorette star refused to have beds on her fantasy suite dates. What did fans have to say about it? Joan Vassos explains fantasy suite dates switch up. Joan Vassos' season of The Golden Bachelorette is groundbreaking in a few ways. She's the first lead on the Bachelor Nation spin-off. Joan already said that getting engaged at the end wasn't a deal-breaker. But perhaps the biggest change is her version of the fantasy suite dates. It's an unspoken assumption that the lead and their contestants are intimate during the fantasy suite dates. Some Bachelor Nation alum have confirmed that this is true, but others stay mum. The fantasy suite dates have sparked serious drama in recent years. Who can forget Zach Shawpross vowing not to be intimate and immediately breaking the rule? Or Clayton Echard being intimate with two of his 3 final women and then sending them both home. Joan Vassos decided early on that the traditional fantasy suite dates weren't for her. She asked the producers to take the beds out of the room. Joan explained to Parade magazine the reason for the chance. She said that she was looking for emotional intimacy, not physical. Furthermore, the grandmother said that she couldn't imagine being intimate with more than one man. Golden Bachelorette fans react no beds choice. Joan Vassos and her final 3 went to Tahiti for the overnight dates. But she only had dates with Chock and Guy. Pascal self-eliminated after declaring that he wasn't in love with Joan. Both of her final suitors were respectful of her decision. But some fans suspect that she was intimate with Chock because of his reaction the next morning. Either way, Bachelor Nation fans fully supported Joan's decision to keep beds out of the fantasy suites. Check out some of the reactions on Twitter. Joan watched how all the leads before her have absolutely fumbled fantasy suites and said that could not be me. Joan prioritizing emotional intimacy over physical intimacy on the overnight fantasy suites is what we need more of on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. Their feelings won't be as mixed up, and there would be no regrets. Go Joan. I respect Joan's decision not to sleep with her final 3 men just because it's fantasy suites week. Good for her. That fantasy suite stuff is gross. Good for Joan for deciding not to be intimate with any of the men in the fantasy suites. That's her choice, and they need to understand and respect that. What do you think of Joan's fantasy suites? Do you think she broke her own rule and was intimate with Chock? Sound off in the comments.